Hello, everyone. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever met a prisoner? Raise your hand. There are more than 5,50,000 people behind bars in 1,300 plus prisons in India. But what do we know about these people? Imagine that this room is a prison of 1,000 people. 600 of you are either a Dalit, a tribal, or someone from a religious minority. A little above that, 700 of you are coming from acute poverty background. The similar amount of people can barely read and write. And above all, 750 of you are awaiting justice, yet to be proven guilty, the under trials. Isn't it odd? If 3 out of 4 people in Indian prisons are from a marginalized group, it seems like that system is designed in a way that if you are a marginalized person, you're bound to have few years of your life in the prison. But these are just the numbers. What do we know about these people beyond the numbers? Do we know their stories? Today, I'll make you meet 3 young change makers who have broken this vicious cycle and are redefining this institution. This is Avneesh. I met him for the first time back in 2017 in Tihar jail, barely out of his teens. Something unfortunate happened, and he found himself behind bars. But was he a hardened criminal as society might assume? Or was he another victim of system failure? My first question to Avneesh that afternoon was, what bothers him being most here in the prison? He said, my desire is to be out and free again. He wanted to attend his sister's wedding, which was due next week, but looking around, he knew it was not possible. When I asked Avneesh, tell me what other thing which bothers you apart from your desire, he shared, and he pointed me towards something called Repeater's Barrack, a barrack full of people who have been out of prison once, but come back in some or the other crime. In his words, I am not able to make peace with this fact that once you are out of this hell, why would you like to come back again? When I asked Avneesh, what do you think? Why do people come back? He said, from not finding jobs to being discarded by the families, there are multiple reasons which create circumstances which make people fall back to the circle. Turns out, there are 22% people in Indian prisons who come back once they have been out. Avneesh mentioned something after this which changed my perspective forever. He said that the role of the prison should not end at the gate of the prison. Prison should make sure that anyone who is going out should be connected to organizations which can provide them jobs, which can provide them shelter. And prison should think about this. But wait, what was I doing in the prison with Avneesh? Let me tell you a little about myself. I am founder of a non-profit which has been working for more than a decade now with communities we call neglected groups. These are the groups which has been left out in the idea of development. From a tribe in Satpura forest to militancy-infested families in Kashmir, we work with these families and these communities to help them reimagine themselves. And back in 2017, April, I got a call from the then Director General of Prisons to work with another of such community, the prisoners. Usually, when such programs are conceptualized, the policymakers tend to go to the NGO experts or maybe the prison officials. But we did not want it to intentionally miss out the most important perspective, the voices of prisoners. And talking to Avneesh strengthened our belief. What Avneesh made us realize that it is the prisoners who have the capacity to not just find the right solutions, but also identify the right problems. What Avneesh was suggesting was another kind of social justice movement where the focus of change are not prisoners, it's the prison system. What we knew that this prison system need to change. But there was an open question. Who is going to change this system on the ground? In a few weeks, when Avneesh got released, he built a toll-free helpline with us, where he started connecting released prisoners to hundreds of organizations which have started providing these prisoners jobs, shelter, drug de-addiction support, and many other facilities. That is where Project Second Chance was born. But what was Avneesh an exception? By this time we knew there are hundreds of such young minds in Indian prisons, and we need to find them. And in that quest, we met Akhilesh and Rahul. Akhilesh was 19 when we met him for the first time in Tihar jail. He, in his first conversation with us, talked openly about his own mental health struggles and how prison life further damages people. The prison manual suggests that on 500 prisoners, you need to have one psychologist to provide mental health support. Can you guess what is the ratio in India? 1 on 16,000 prisoners. When Akhilesh got released from the prison, he started working with Project Second Chance with finding the answer of mental health issues of prisoners. With us and some of our psychologists built a peer-to-peer support model in prisons, where some senior prisoners are trained as socio-emotional mentors to other prisoners. And they collectively host workshops of anger management, conflict resolution, suicide prevention, and other socio-emotional needs. And then there was Rahul. Rahul comes from a caste which have a history of conflict with law. And due to this, he himself found difficult in finding the lawyer when he was in prison. His family had to change 4 lawyers in the span of 3 years, and he realized that this is a major problem across many castes and communities. Once he came out of prison, he joined Project Second Chance, and he started working on this issue. What he did? He built a tech platform where he started connecting marginalized prisoners and their families to hundreds of pro bono lawyers who started representing them and got their loved ones out of the prison system. But all prisoners in Indian prisons need lawyers. And we have one Rahul who is able to get few of the hundreds out of the system. All prisoners need mental health support. And we have one Akhilesh who is able to save few of them from being damaged from inside. And all prisoners need post-release rehabilitation, and we have one Avneesh who is able to handhold few hundreds to get jobs or shelter. What we need are hundreds of Rahul, hundreds of Akhilesh, and hundreds of Avneesh. To get all the prisoners the justice they deserve. But that is going to take time. But by that time, these 3 have made us realize that there's a need of prison reforms in India. And that social justice movement is started by them. I'll leave you by the same question again. How many of you have met a prisoner? Today, Rahul, Akhilesh, and Avneesh are in this room. They deserve that their stories should be told. They deserve that their stories They deserve that their stories should be told and not by anyone else, by themselves. Talk to them today. Ask them about how their day was. How was their first flight? How the justice system is. And they will make all of us realize that how the idea of prison reforms will be on the map of social justice issues of India in next few years. Thank you.